Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Another episode, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Well, you're probably looking at the graphic and saying, this says Brunch with Margo Lovett and Friends. Well, Brunch with Margo Lovett and Friends is an extension of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. It is a monthly live stream. And this month I had the chance to virtually sit down with information diva Deborah Thorne and SYFY sister Subrina Wood. We laughed, we talked, we shared stories and information, and we sipped on wine, juice, and coffee in our uh, favorite container. I had my favorite piece of stemware, and did I tell you that we laughed and talked? Our conversation started out with the Great Resignation, and Deborah shared her heart-wrenching story about how she ended up actually having to leave her state job, good government job. It was like jaw dropping, like, wow, So we also heard about Black folks in the sci-fi community and conversations that podcaster Subrina Wood is taking on with SYFY Sisters. Is really, really interesting. That whole concept morphs into something quite large. It really takes on some social issues also. We never did talk about the National Bagel Day, but in the future we will take on national holidays. But I wanted people to gather and we talk about things that matter to us. For Deb, she talked about her Leverage conference, her yearly conference that is all about helping entrepreneurs with visibility and an opportunity to get their expertise before a captive audience. But she needs to get butts in the seat. How does she do that? By coming on and just talking about what she does, what she needs, what she's looking to do. So we laugh, we talk, we drink our favorite beverage, and for an hour, we let the world see another side of ourselves. We break things up grammatically, at least I do, and who cares? We're just people folk sitting around the table virtually. This live stream is not edited, and we just have fun. So I do it once a month. You want to join me? I sure hope so. Go over to my website, margolovett.com, and email me from that portal and just let me know that you want to be a guest. I'll see what we can do. In the meantime, enjoy Brunch with Margo Lovett and Friends. Friends this month being the information diva Deborah Thorne and SYFY sister Subrina Wood. Bye-bye. Hey, everybody. Well, it's Margo Lovett here. Wow. We are doing something different. It is a brand new year and doing things in a brand new way. So I thought, who doesn't like a good brunch? Who doesn't like a good lunch? Who doesn't like a good dinner? Who doesn't like good conversation? So anybody who knows me knows that I love good conversation. And thank you, Lord, that I have met some fabulous people. And I know that there are some more people for me to meet. So I said once a month, I'm going to go ahead and host a brunch, a brunch with Margo Lovett. Let me catch up everybody up with what's been going on with Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Definitely want to do that. And then I'm going to bring on my guests. We are going to do some shop talk. We're going to talk about some national holidays. With brunch, you always have your little something, something, and the ladies are able to bring whatever. Next month, I might have coffee. Once a month, we're going to do this. All right. We're going live stream, and we're just going to let people see the other side of us. We are all entrepreneurs, but we have a funny side. We like to laugh and chop it up and get to know one another. So this is the maiden voyage. This is what's going to happen. I have Deborah Thorne, the information diva, here with me today, and Subrina Woods, SYFY sister. Oh my goodness. So you're going to learn a lot. You are going to just laugh and, we'll break a few rules up in here, okay? Before I bring my guests on, I just want to bring everybody up to speed. What's going on here with Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation? Do you hear the music? StreamYard. This is brand new. Oh, I love technology most of the time. So in the background, I have music. It's a brand new feature here on StreamYard. So just thought I'd let you know about that. But Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation, as everybody knows, this is my podcast. I started this back in 2017 after I left corporate. I just took a year off and decided I'm going to hire the best coach, the best strategist that I could hire so that I would be able to come back to what I love. But I lost my voice. I lost my confidence that I could podcast. I was doing a music show. How do I come back and have the audacity to build a mecca for other women who are leaving corporate or whatever, and they are reinventing themselves to become podcasters, become entrepreneurs? I learned, and I've been paying my dues. So ever since 2017, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation has been available to women such as myself that want to come to one location. And how do I get those golden nuggets about reinventing themselves from the inside out? How do I podcast from the inside out, my authentic me? People always say, Margo, you know what? You like night and day. You kind of docile, don't have much to say before you get behind that mic. Girl, you get behind that mic, you get to roll in it. But this is how I learned. And this is a part of tapping into my confidence. So I want other people to always have that conversation. We always want to know that it's possible. You show up in your own energy. So Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation took a turn the first of the year because I heard from you ladies, you guys, and I understand that we have different levels of interest. So once a month, we're going to hear from a podcaster. Once a month, we're going to hear from an entrepreneur. Yeah. And then once a month, we're going to hear from somebody who's gone through the Great Resignation, or they are a reinvented one, such as myself. Some of us came out of corporate and we went ahead and we quit, or we moved on, Arrivederci, deuces, whatever you want to call it. We did it before the media caught it up and gave it this name, the Great Resignation. So now I have people coming on to tell their story so that we can just hear from someone who's been there, done that, doing it. And then I will also come on once a month and talk about reinvention, this whole thing, give my definition, bring on other people who have reinvented themselves and are doing so. So that's the new format. So far, so good. It's just January. Thank you, Lord. We are starting out fresh. So I started out the first week, letting everybody know what you can expect from this podcast. And then when it was time to speak with a podcaster, and there are a lot of podcasters out there, but there is enough room for all of us to share information. I'm a podcaster, but that doesn't mean that I can't bring on other podcasters when they have wonderful shows and their audiences are just awesome. So I brought back a conversation that I had with Evo Terra. This gentleman, I call him the grandfather of podcasting because he was podcasting before I even knew what the heck a podcast was. Quite accomplished, and he cares about the industry. He cares that podcasting stays honorable and it does what it's supposed to do. Okay. And then I had a conversation with the Great Resignation. It was Victoria Cooper. Oh my goodness, when she came on, she shared her story. It was like I guess she thought I was probably cuckoo crazy, but it was like, you really did this? You really went through that? You reinvented yourself a couple of times. You walked away from a really great position. Hey, the story's there. The who, what, when, where, and how. That's what the Great Resignation is all about. It is not about they just don't want to work. It is not all about, well, everybody's getting unemployment and nobody wants to work. No, we're bringing on people from the Great Resignation and telling their stories. And these folks are honorable. I'm loving the stories. I sent out a clarion call because I thought, no, everybody just want to hear about what you did. There's a billion people did what you did. Bring them on. So I went to a couple of places and I said, hey, I need stories. People that gone through the Great Resignation or they reinvented themselves. And boy, that I open up the heavens, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it. So I'm working through all of the stories and picking out the ones that are going to work with her business, her voice, her conversation. Since I'm doing it only once a month, it's like, oh, wow, now I got this surplus of stories, but I have a plan for that also. Okay. So if you send in an email, I will get back with you. I don't want you to think that I did not notice nor appreciate what you've done. And then reinvention last week, which was this week, where I come on and talk about reinvention. I couldn't go ahead and do my own episode because a month ago I was guesting on September Smith's She's All That podcast. And something magical happened on that show. I was able to open up and realize some things about me where I'm always telling people to podcast or reinvent yourself from the inside out. As I sat there, I was able to tell my story and also come upon a few ideas concerning why in September, the month of September, I stalled out. I mean, I didn't have the class for the academy. I really didn't come through on a deal that I was supposed to have been working on, completely stalled out. But it's as though as we spoke, because of the atmosphere and the liberty that was there, I was able to discover what really happened. And I'm finding that when you're in the reinvention process, there's a lot of discovery. Cut yourself some slack, give yourself the opportunity and permission to understand and move along and keep the train rolling. All right. So I'll have it in the show notes and I'll have it in the post concerning what happened, that conversation, because it really, really was a good conversation. It really was. So I'm asking you to take time to take a listen. Now, I want to bring on the guests today. They are here. Enough about podcasting, about business card. Oh my goodness, I've had so many shows rolling here. Her business, her voice, her conversation. Let me bring on Subrina Wood. But before I do that, I gotta get used to. Let me stop the music. Let me get used to doing the ad reads. I tell you, I'm loving this. The mechanics of it all. Okay. This episode is brought to you by Academy of Pivotal Learning, an online and live class school that serves 4th to 12th grade students. Parents, do you want to ensure that your child does not fall behind academically during the pandemic? Maybe they have already and need tutoring to strengthen their understanding comprehension. The Academy of Pivotal Learning offers part-time, full-time, after school, and private tutoring across various time zones, and all their teachers are certified. Want to sponsor the yearbook club or make a financial gift to the school? I sure hope that you do. There's a PayPal link that I'll make available to you, and be sure to visit their website, plhomeschool.org. aplhomeschool.org. First sponsor of this Brunch with Margo Lovett. Now, let's bring these folks on. We're going to talk about, oh my goodness. Hey, Hey, I'm glad to see ya. Oh my goodness, they're here. We're doing this, ladies. We're doing this. Let me get rid of this banner here. Let me get rid of this banner. Okay, we cooking with gas. Welcome.
Welcome. Let's do some adjusting. There we go.
Hey, all the adjusting you need. I have Subrina Wood, the information diva, Deborah Thorne. You know what? And let me see whether or not I can change. Oh, I like that better.
You like that? Yeah, that looks better. Yes.
See,
Okay. There we go.
First I was gonna have my neighbor come and engineer all of this, but I said no. This is part of. Yeah, I like this.
You got it.
I got it. Oh, I got it. Okay, gets back to business.
Margo, before you go on, I was listening to your introduction, which was absolutely fabulous, telling us what's going to happen. And I realized I had my own reinvention story. You know, I walked away, not from corporate America, but from bureaucracy. I'm a retired state employee. And after they took me out on a stretcher, not once, but twice, and took me straight to the hospital because I had a heart attack at my desk, I decided, no, I can't work there. And that was over 30 years ago. So we've been doing it a while. The media just caught up.
You know, That's real talk about your health being affected. And thank God that you survived, you're thriving. But so many of us hold on, and our bodies are telling us enough is enough. Our minds are telling us, you better get out of here before you fool around and hurt somebody. I mean, literally. That I'm telling you, girl, I'm talking about what I know. So
there's a reason people go postal, okay?
And we are surprised, but we shouldn't be surprised. You know what? We weren't going to talk about this, but let's go ahead and dig right on.
Go ahead, just go there.
I think from my own experience, because I only talk about what I know, you go to the therapist there. They have that offering, but the corporate culture is such that you're still in a pressure cooker. There's very little tolerance for what you're going through, and it's just like it just overflows. It's like a pot on a stove, and it just boom. What happened?
Yeah, well, you know, I have that same problem too, because I'm coming from the tax world. You know, I was a senior director of a tax department here in Washington, D.C. area. And, you know, not for the plain corporate, but for the type of work we do, because we're under such strict deadlines where every day you're late, it's a penalty that, you know, you've got to pay, or your client's going to tell you something. It's a horrible pressure cooker. So, yes, I too walked away before the heart attack. Thank you. But I knew if I stayed, I was going to have one.
Yeah, man.
And I dialed it down.
Yeah. And it was the best thing you could have done, right?
Oh, yeah. You know, I still work there. I still work there. I still love working there. And, you know, I am I come in the ninth inning when, you know, stuff, when everything is really going crazy. I come in and I do busy season work now and keep my hand in and then just kind of roll on out when.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That day.
I want to say one more thing, and then I'll be quiet. But you know that old joke where they say you drop dead on the at the job, and they tell you to unplug them. You know, like take them off the time clock. That really happened to me. The paramedics were rolling me out. Okay, I'd had a heart. I'm 37 years old, 36 at the time, having a heart attack at my desk. The paramedics are rolling me out, and my supervisor says, "Somebody take her off the clock." Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Okay. So if you're thinking some woman is listening to us wondering if she should make a change. Yes, my darling, make a change.
Make it.
These people don't care about you living or dying. And I remember my supervisor saying to me later, you know, I talked to you and you said you weren't going to file a workers' comp claim. You know, what's the deal? Well, those words that you spoke when they were wheeling me out are the reason I'm filing the claim. And you shouldn't listen to me. I'm on medication. So, you know, I can't help you with that. Yes.
Wow.
So, you know, if you're thinking about it, do what's best for you and your family. And many times that is walking away before they roll you away.
Yeah, for real. We, I think COVID, I know that COVID has shown all of us that life is very precious and we can be one breath away from our last breath. I happen to know someone who's been in fighting COVID for a couple of months now, and the oxygen and all of that. You never know when enough is enough and the last is the last. So I'm not surprised about this great resignation. Media has a way of profiling everything just so that, oh, this never happened before, and all kinds of reasons. And what gets me, ladies, is that they will bring on people that claim they can't find anybody to work in their establishment. And my response is, what kind of culture are you offering for people? First thing of all, there must be, you can't say, and I hate that they allow people to come on and say they were getting all that money, stockpiling all that money from COVID and unemployment. People were just trying to make it. Oh, they don't want to work. I can't find anybody.
Yeah, that's the one that really gets me, because I don't think there are a lot of people that don't want to work, and there aren't very many people that can make it on unemployment. So I don't know what world you live in, but if you live down here in the greater Washington, D.C. area, that is not going to go very far. But I think, in my world where, we are tax accountants, it is really difficult. We're having a very hard time finding people that want to be in that pressure cooker. And especially, accounting has never been like a glamour job. And right now, I think there's so much that people can do. And these kids today, they can figure out a way to make some money. And it doesn't necessarily mean doing 60 and 65 hours at a desk talking to somebody at the IRS.
You better know it.
Yeah. Or doing the audit, and traveling all around. Travel is so hard now. And they don't want to, I don't know, there are people that definitely want to do it. And if you do, please call me, because we still are looking for tax accountants. But, it's a hard profession. And I think a lot of people are just finding a lot of other options. It's not that they don't want to work. We're not making it as attractive to them as it could be. There's still a lot of, you've got to be in the office kind of mentality.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. And whereas fighting that, it's hard. It's hard to bring on people and make them a part of your culture if they've never come into the office. So, being one of the, the management people, I see what the kids want, and I see what we want to have happen. And it's just so hard to start a job and you've never met anybody. Yeah. So, how do you feel like you're part of that team? It's 6 in one, half a dozen in the others, my mother used to say.
Well, and one of the Ivy League schools, and I'm sorry, I can't say which one because I don't remember, but I heard the news story. They did a survey of the young people about what starting salaries should be, or what are people making. And these young folks think people are making $80,000 a year. So they're looking for that. I know a few years ago when I talked to people with 60,000, excuse you, do you know how long people work before they got 60,000?
All their life almost.
Okay. And these younger people, that has not been their experience. And when you're talking about whatever other things that are available to them, I remember telling my son, you can't make no money playing video games. Get off them darn video games. Okay? Do I eat those words? Okay? Millions of dollars playing video games. Yes. Okay? Yes. So it's different. And when the money we had didn't work, they went to cryptocurrency, write their own money. What in the world? So it's a different time.
It's a different time.
People are not going to do what we did, and certainly not going to do what our parents did in the name of a job. They'd rather be home doing something different. And I don't blame
we're still paying pretty well if you want to be a tax accountant, though. You can make some cash.
Well, but they had to have put the work in beforehand. They have to have studied. And if I didn't study that.
Right. You have to have it. You got to get the license. There's a lot of stuff you got to do to get that cash.
And how many of us bought into it that we couldn't do math? Somebody told us we couldn't do math because my mama couldn't do math because her mama couldn't do math. Okay.
Well, that is a whole nother.
You do math. You do math all day long. Ask any drug dealer. They do math
Oh my
all day
God.
long.
I have a story for you, and it's something that, yes, you're right. It's something that you were told for a lot of times. Women told that, not just Black people, but women, especially, and Black women particularly, that you can't do math. And I started an investment club way back long ago when I was working at Mellon Bank. And I had a lot of people. I used to sell Mary Kay. And these people were Mary Kay consultants with me. And so I said, we're going to have an investment club because they were making money. We were making a lot of money selling that makeup. So I wanted to invest it. And they were so afraid of the math of the investments. And I said, let me break it down to you because you do math all the time. And they were like, I don't know if it's going to be like 80% of the stock price and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, let me just break it down to something you really understand. All right. It's a Coach bag. It's on sale. It's $100 and something. It's on sale for 20% off. How much is the bag? These numbers came up like that. I said, you know how to do this math. Okay. Yeah. It's not a Coach bag. It's Procter & Gamble stock. Now let's just do what we just did. And once we did that Coach bag thing and they figured out how fast that bag was on sale, what the number was, we stopped saying that I don't know math.
Yeah, I love it. Oh,
it was done. I said, you know this. You just were told this and you believe it, and I'm going to unbelieve it for you.
We bought into so many things, so many ideas, so many limitations we really, really have. So then we say that we can't change. Mm-hmm. We can't reinvent ourselves because of this or because of that. Before we go on, ladies, I want to make sure that everybody knows that Deborah Thorne is the information diva located in California. And I really invited you here because of what you do as far as the Leverage Conference, because you always debunk this thing of if I build it, they will come. So let me introduce Subrina, and then I want to come back and you tell us something about the Leverage Conference, because this is all information that people need to hear. Then from the DC area, we have Subrina Wood, SYFY sister. Both of these ladies are podcasters. I seem to be running with a lot of podcasters these days, but that's the way it goes. a lot of us, a lot. But you told us something about your background, where you're coming from. Tell us about the SYFY sister. This because I'm going to ping pong back to you. Fascinating stuff. Where are Black people in position as far as SYFY goes out? Do we exist?
Yes, there are Blacks in space. Yes, there are. So we're four of us, four women, and we met at a science fiction convention, believe it or not. And it came about because of the show Star Trek Discovery, which was going to have the first Black female captain of one of the Star Trek ships. I was crazy. You see the wall, right? Okay, Star Trek all over the wall. I've been Trekkie from way back when. So we went to a convention. We got there. We wanted to talk about this sister, Sonequa Martin Green. We were all set to talk about her. And when we got to the convention panel, they talked about everything except her and all the other stuff about the show and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And we kept raising our hands and wanting to speak and nothing. We came out of there so mad. I said, I'm going to create something about science fiction, and we're just going to be able to talk about Sonequa Martin Green all day long. We will talk about Black people in science fiction whenever we want to. So we decided we just launched it on Facebook and just kind of did some posts and stuff. And it just got bigger and bigger. And then we asked, we did the podcast and that just took off. And the next thing you know, we're at conventions and we're going on cruises and everybody's talking to us. And it's like, oh my God. So Black science fiction has been a thing for a century. I mean, I read a book called One Blood that was written by a sister back in, 18 something in Boston. There's been Black in sci-fi for a long time, but, everybody knows one name. Octavia Butler, they know Samuel R. Delaney, or and that's it. They're like, oh, Black sci-fi. So what we want to do is bring Black science fiction to the foreground. In fact, I don't want to really have to ever say Black science fiction. I just want it to be science fiction. And, why we have to be in a separate alcove on a separate shelf in the bookstore and all of that when we are killing it when, sisters like N.K. Jemisin are winning, triple Hugo Awards. Why are we still separated? Why is there like, can I, like white people saying, like, can I really read Black science fiction? Or can I get into this? I said, did you see Black Panther? And then be quiet.
We showed up and showed out. I mean, when it comes to sci-fi, we spend money in the theaters. We bulk those places out. So yeah, we are due much recognition, really and truly. Woo, man. Deb, I saw your hand up.
I'm like laughing because I'm not a sci-fi person because reality is too rough for me. I can't take it any further than that. Okay. However, I'm thinking my sister would be I'm going to introduce you to her, Dr. Stephanie Jefferson, who's also an author, and she's taken it to doing historical fiction, if you will.
Yes.
And then my girlfriend's husband, Steve Bellinger, has won awards for sci-fi. So, the folks are out there. They're out there, and it's let us hook folks up. And I'm like, even though that's not my genre, I want to know what you guys are doing because I'll sneak in and look. It's like, okay, but
and then you get hooked. Sneak in and look.
Well, like I told you, girl, reality is rough, but Whoopi Goldberg is doing a new
back. She's on Picard. She's coming back.
Yes.
Star Trek
Yes.
Picard.
Really?
You can't wait.
Yes.
You cannot wait.
Oh wow.
Whoopi, if you're listening, we definitely want you on the Sci-Fi Sister podcast.
Hey.
And you never know.
You never
know.
So
let me put it out there. That 6 degrees of separation in our community is really like 3. Everybody post this podcast. Just share it. Because you never know who it's going to get to and how. And we want. Now, see, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. Yes.
Hey.
Oh, I'm like so happy to hear it because I'm with you. I like that we can say Black women are doing this or Black people are doing this, but I don't want that to be the defining thing that, we have. And because we have to do it in order to be seen or whatever. And, that, and I'm going to be quiet because my time is coming, but that's how the Leverage Conference came to be,
Oh, yeah. Okay. Because I want to hear about this. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So let me let Margo finish because we've taken her show all different kind of directions that she had planned.
Well, you know what? I mean, it seemed like once we started talking about the Great Resignation and you all reinvented ones, it was like, I'm all ears. So this is fluid. Brunch is fluid. You know how girlfriends get together and we say we're going to talk about one thing and next thing you know, we're on something else. I mean, I watched the show Harlem, the girlfriends there.
Oh,
of course, who doesn't know Sex in the City, those girlfriends. That's just how we are. So that's how brunch is over here. We take our little sip, we go ahead and we listen and we jump on in. And we might not say anything else about National Croissant Day. Today is National Croissant Day, but it's fluid. That's what makes it so cool, So don't worry about me,
Well, we have these bigger than life personas. And for years, I held it down because it wasn't polite. People look at you and I have to be careful in my circle of sisters. I don't want to do that. But I've learned when I'm with other folks, if I'm too big for you, so what? Okay. You just have to work it out because if I got a question to ask, oh no, you're going to answer my question. Okay. Because I'm going to be the first one with a hand up. And if you don't respond to me, I'm going to ask you, are you not responding to me? Because you can't see me.
You don't see me?
Yeah, what's the problem here? Hello, I've learned to play the blonde hair, blue-eyed game, Oh my goodness, I thought you were going to call on me. Is it my turn yet?
I love it.
Oh no, we're going to play this game. No. But we're going to respect the leader of the, Yeah. So you tell us what goes next.
We go next, Margo.
Well, you know what? Okay, let me go ahead and I think I see some comments. And I never, Tiffany Lauderdale. Hey, Tiff. She says hello. She is last time I talked to Tiffany Lauderdale, she sold lipstick and it was the kind that would stay on your lips and would not rub off. And honey, I need some of that because COVID, COVID has put a dent on people's lipstick
I
wearing.
was just talking about this today.
Oh man, it's roughshod. And then we have Jermaine Watson said yes. And hello, ladies, from Deborah Thorne. Okay. There's a LinkedIn user saying, love this. And I need to find out the T on that. Oh, okay. Somebody else wants to know about what we're talking about, these great resignation. Hey, so we have people here from Facebook and from LinkedIn. Thank you all so much. Share this out. Please share this out. We're just doing it once a month. And let me pull this back up. We're just doing it once a month. And if you want to be a guest, before we segue over to Miss Deb, if you want to be a guest, just message me or email me, margo@margolovett.com. I'm not just playing with my friends. You could be my friend also. We can have brunch together. We can have lunch, but we're not going to talk about religion. We're not going to get into politics because I don't want somebody mad enough to shoot through the monitor. It gets just that heated with some people, and it's not worth it. I don't want us to get there. Okay. Yeah. But we're having a good old time. Wouldn't you say, ladies? Woo,
absolutely.
Woo.
Absolutely. And Margo, I'm going to stop you a little bit, baby. That's one of those other myths. At the Leverage Conference, we always talk about something controversial. And these ladies have proven to me that we can have the discussion on opposite sides because we're talking about two things, our experience and our opinion. I can't argue with your experience or your opinion. Different than mine. It's like, because we've had some different ones. I go, that's different. But you know what? Out of respect, these women are able to talk about it because men can't do it. They say everybody can't do it. Women can do it when we stand in our power and do things like a woman, not like a man, CEO, not CEO. Okay? So, yes.
Well, okay. I must admit, I've seen you pull that off twice. So I personally don't want Lunch with Margo to do that, but I will put this out here because we do need to show the world that women can do that. We can agree to disagree. Then you help me get a panel discussion in 1 month. We will get together. I think we'll probably have 6 women on. One common
uneven number. Uneven number.
Uneven. Okay. What?
Uneven.
See? Okay, so let's go where 7 is kind of big. Let's go with 5. What do you think?
5.
And we just agree to disagree. And yeah, okay.
Yeah, see if I'm telling you about my experience,
I want to see
and I'm telling you about my opinion, you can't argue with that. You weren't there. This was my experience. And as a result, this is how I think. So and when you listen to people do that, if you will listen, you will learn something because they didn't just come up with an idea. There's a reason they think, because, we did vaccine versus non-vaccine, COVID and politics, because COVID is a whole political thing. I don't know how an illness became political, but it is. And we talked about that. There was no voice raising. People were respectful, taking their turn. And it was, if you remember the last time there was a problem getting the panel together, we had a panel, but people had COVID and couldn't come to the panel. Okay. So we opened it up to the women in the room and I'm like, this is how we'll do it from now on, because the average woman needs to have her voice heard. I want people's voices heard. So yes, I'll help you with that anytime you're ready to do that.
Let's do that. Then that takes me right on into the Leverage Conference, because it is, I saw you in action in a hotel room and it was wonderful. But when you brought it to virtual, it took on a totally different life and energy. And energy is like perfume. Energy is a power. And tell everybody about the Leverage Conference. You do it once a year.
Once a year. This is our 4th year. It is November 10th through the 12th. Subrina, I'm putting an invitation out to you to be one of our master speakers, okay? Because we need to talk about, and I already kind of got it, the thinking about the numbers and SYFY. So we'll have a conversation about that. But the Leverage Conference, we define the word leverage as networking plus collaboration equals opportunity. And that's leverage. that we are going to stop begging people for a seat on their platform. Give me a seat at your table. We're creating our own tables. That's how the conference came to be. Tired of asking people, can I sit with them? And them having lots of reasons why I can't this time. And we already got enough Black people. We got enough women, maybe next year. No, how about I do my own? How about Margo, Subrina, and Deborah get together and create something even different? Even we met here on Margo's Brunch, but maybe we decide that we're going to take a specific topic and do it over here. There's room for everybody and everything. And what we really work on, the conference focuses, it's the Leverage Conference for speakers, authors, and entrepreneurs. Speakers are always looking for a place to speak. That's not a problem. The entrepreneurs, the authors are where I really want my focus, because everybody has a story to tell and everybody should write a book. And I work hard at showing people how simply you can write a book. Now, you can go, if you want to get a Pulitzer Prize or you want to be a New York Times bestseller, I'm not the girl to help you. But if you want to get your story out and we use books as fancy business cards. They give us opportunities to go places we normally wouldn't be able to go. We get invited to speak places we wouldn't be able to speak. That's what I'm after. I'm very proud to say I've helped produce 15 first-time authors so far. And I'm looking to every woman listening to this who has said to herself, now, if you never wanted to write a book, I'm not trying to make you. But, oh, girl, no, you got to write a book, Subrina. Are you kidding me? But if you've had in the back of your mind, I want to write a book, I'm just waiting until, let me help demystify that. If it's until I have enough money, if I tell you that I can show you how to write your book for $2.50, do you have enough money? If you don't, may I gift you $2.50 so you get your book done? Okay. So that's not an excuse. If it's because I don't know what to write, women, particularly Black women, which story do you want me to tell this time? Right. See, when people start talking about their stories, and I always say, why are you writing your book? Well, if people heard my story, no, sweetie, we all got stories. I bet you I got 3, 4, 5, 6 stories. But what is the story I'm wanting to tell today? And what do I want it to happen at the end of it? My biggest thing now, and I really want the people listening here, we have to tell history, okay? The history for the last 8 years, okay? That has got to be told. It was 12 years now, so it was 8, and then this other 4. It has got to be told. And if we don't write the story, the person who writes the book is telling the story. Yes. And our grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren will be reading things that didn't happen quite the way the story is being told. And I want mine to be able to say, no, my great-grandma wrote a book. I'll bring it in. I encourage people to write their stories, gift it to the school that their kids or grandkids go to. So it's in the library, because if you gift it to them, they'll have no excuse for not putting it on the shelf. True. Put it on the shelf and help the kids understand why you wrote the book, because I wanted you to understand that January 6th was not just another day. I want you to understand. I remember watching television when they stopped saying that it was a demonstration and started calling it a riot. It was a big shift. They were scared to call it a riot. Okay, now if me and you had been out there, Black Lives Matter had been out there, what a riot, and how many dead at the end?
It would have been a riot on January 5th.
Oh, yeah, really, yes. Truly. The whole nation would have been torn apart.
Okay, so we need to be telling that story, one woman's view. Yeah. A team of sisters talk about.
Wow.
And it is so simple. Technology has made producing books so simple that that's what the conference is about. Bringing people together, showing you how simple these things are. It is simple to get a speaking gig. You can't get a speaking gig? Do it on Facebook Live. Now you got it. Got an audience. Hey, do it. And that's what I'm trying to show people. It is a premium conference. So, people like to go and, oh, it costs. Yes, it does cost money. Yes. And it ain't cheap. No, because I believe free begets free. I don't want any more free clients. I'm done with that. Okay. Yeah. I want people who want to invest in themselves and so that we can all do better. And the conference is growing. If I had to judge the content last year, our content was A plus. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. Our challenge this year is getting butts in seats. Mm-hmm. We need 300 people there. And why can't we have 300 people when I know the big boys are getting 10,000 people? Yeah. Hello? Okay.
People are traveling to try to get to these events. I mean, they're taking a chance to go in person.
Okay. And have people breathe on you. Okay.
Yeah.
And we're saying, no, and that's not directed toward you. Each one of the speakers at the conference wants to have a conversation with you. They want to help you go to whatever level you're looking, because I don't ever tell people going to the next level, because I don't know what level you're at. But if you're just making six figures or not making six figures, we can help you. Now, when you're ready to do seven figures, I'm going to point you to some people, because that's not my thing. That's too much work. I don't want to do that. If nothing else, too much work managing it. Now I got to go to Subrina and figure out how to manage seven figures. Too many zeros.
Wait a minute. Make sure the IRS is not on you. Girl, why did you bring that up? That's such a sore spot. Jesus.
I know, but you know what? When we know that and we prepare for that, okay, that's okay. Because see, I have a friend who didn't know he had made $1.3 million one year until the IRS told him. That is not how you want to find out. I know. That is not how you want to find out. The IRS told him, you made $1.3 million last year. He was like, I know I did well, but okay. So we have the Subrinas in the world that will tell us, no, this is the way you want to manage that. This is the way you want to do that. So that's what the conference is about. And we are so blessed. We have people coming from all across the United States. And as you said, Margo, I'm in California. I'm in Los Angeles. But we have people coming from all across the United States, Canada, the UK, the Philippines, and the Bahamas. Right. So we will never be in person. Okay. We're going ahead of the curve. And I'm going to say that conferences and things are not going to be in person like you remember them. Now, will there be in-person events? Absolutely. But when I do it in person, I miss a Subrina because she's in DC. She can't come. She can't speak. Okay. But if I do it online and we make it so that my whole goal is with the customer experience is to help you forget that you're on a Zoom. I remind people, if you were in person, you would not sit there from 6 o'clock in the morning till midnight, which is what conferences run. You'd get up, you'd take a nap, you'd go eat, you'd meet with some people. We say do the exact same thing. You see somebody in there you want to meet, send them a note and say, hey, let's step out for an hour and have a conversation and then come back. So thank you, Margo, for letting me share about it. Yay.
But that experience is everything. I mean, whatever we put out there, whenever we want somebody to be a part of what we're doing, let's not get mad because people don't want to. First of all, let's make it something that they want to be a part of. And you definitely have done that. I have to say, you definitely have. And as far as begging people, I think that went out with the temptation walk. Sure. If I gotta beg you,
I ain't too proud to beg.
You're supposed to be in the same room.
Yeah. Okay. It ain't that I'm proud. I just ain't doing it.
Right.
I ain't doing it. No more.
Done that. No. Well, a lot of our success, I would say, has come from the virtual cons because, the science fiction conventions are definitely a thing, especially because Star Trek probably started that whole trend of the Comic Cons and the awesome cons. And we kind of really became known just because we did a memorial for Aaron Eisenberg, who was one of the cast members of Deep Space Nine. He passed away unexpectedly, and he was much beloved by a lot of the Star Trek universe. And we were doing a little memorial to him, and so we just made a little, 30-second tape for a convention. And apparently, like, there weren't that many people that listened and said, like, hey, you can send the tape in. So our tape ran and ran and ran and ran and ran. And then the next thing I know, everybody's like, who are the SYFY sisters? It's like, oh, that'd be us because we sent the tape. So people, when people tell you to send something in, send it in. So next thing you know, everyone started knowing our name, and we've been asked to be on these virtual cons because they are so convenient. And the SYFY sisters, we're in different locations. I'm in Bethesda, Maryland, actually. We have another sister, Yvette, is in New York. Another sister, Fran, is down in Norfolk. And Tamia is in DC. And we rarely are in the same room. So we couldn't even really have done this podcast if it weren't for virtual. So, thank you, pandemic.
For real. And that's what I want people to gather hold. But I still get people, and I love my folks, who say, I don't really like Zoom. Who cares whether you like it or not? That's immaterial.
It's here.
Okay. Totally immaterial. And there's so much that we can accomplish and so much that we can do if we just, gather in and just make it happen.
And it saves so much time.
So much time.
It saves so much
and
time.
Money.
It's so much more efficient. Yes.
Time and money.
It Zoom, StreamYard, I don't know what happened to poor Skype, but all of it. It's just it makes a lot of things possible. And like you said, it's a platform. Just like we were saying. I don't know what I would have done before all of this, without social media, to say, like, I want my own platform. Yeah. And now, I have guests come on. We just talked about critical race theory and Star Trek with Dr. Crystal Fleming. We were just going to go there. Like, I love Star Trek. I love all these things, but I want to point out to you some things that you guys have been doing and I'm not feeling. And I'm just trying to tell you, stop it. It. We just want to point out to you.
Girl, you know what? And let's make that call out again. Anybody who knows that has her on their feed, we're looking for Whoopi Goldberg. I want her to reach out to Subrina Wood because
Whoopi.
That's right. Come on.
And you never know where these things show up. When they can find, your dog scooting up and down the stairs, they can find this stuff too. So,
so true.
It's like,
You'd be surprised. It's if we put it out there. Like my mama used to say, closed mouth never get fed. But we come on to platforms like this and we're just having a conversation. And you'd never know who's listening, who's pushing something out, what's going to come up in replay. You never know. And you won't know unless you get started. Had you not started SYFY Sisters, you wouldn't be here now. Had Trina Ramsey not made the referral and I followed through, everything's a chain reaction. Deborah Thorne, I'll never forget that a mutual friend said, I finally understand what you're doing. You need to talk to Deborah Thorne. And the rest is history. So, we can't sit back and act like I'm in a silo all by myself. Corporate America won't let you be in a silo all by yourself. And as entrepreneurs, as people, women of color, there's enough for all of us. We can come on and have these conversations and say, and expect somebody gonna hook me up.
Hook a sister up.
Got a lot of. Oh, that's a new podcast, you guys. That's a new one.
Hook a sister up.
Yeah, because here's the thing, for real. I was listening to Margo and all the plans she has, and I've got some stuff running in my head, and I'm going to go back and kind of look at it. All it takes is a few minutes to get on. Okay, if you get on and you have, we didn't tell people in advance what we're on. We're having a conversation. When we get through, I'm going to send out who knows how to contact Whoopi Goldberg. Send her this. We paid homage to her. Yeah. We hook a sister, and that's what it's going to be entitled. Hashtag hook a sister up. Okay.
And hashtag Whoopi Goldberg. Who knows?
There you go.
Hey, hashtag her, put her in there by name. Let me do, I can't believe it is 3:51. I'm having too much fun, but I would not be true to myself if I didn't do this ad read, and then we're going to wrap some things up. I have to tell everybody about podcastacademyonline.com, a virtual academy that graduates podcasters, 7 weeks long, live online group sessions, heavy on how to instruction, information, and accountability. Graduate with your custom design functioning podcast. PodcastAcademyOnline.com was designed with the adult learner in mind. Schedule a free consultation. Go to PodcastAcademyOnline.com. We have classes beginning the end of March. So,
cool.
Yeah, had to get that on in there. That is something that my pet peeve is if we don't start, if we don't continue, I'm fitting to, I was thinking about it. I didn't have the money. And Deb, you touched on it, as far as a book, it could be with anything. If we don't get started, then we're always going to be left behind. Let me share one stat that I pulled to the side. Finally, somebody took a look at Black people listening to podcasts. Finally, they did the Emerson research. That was fascinating. Oh my goodness, Subrina, as soon as you told me about it, I took time to go back and take a look at it. What got me is that 63% of the Black people that listen to podcasts on a monthly basis are searching for unfiltered conversations that can't be heard in other places. 60% are looking for stories from a Black perspective, and 51% want podcasts hosted by Black podcast hosts. Why can't we become podcast hosts? I'm scared of the technology. I don't know how to. I took that class and I paid $500 and I still not on the air. There's a myriad of reasons why you can't, but there's a world full of reasons why you can and you should. Here's a captive audience right here. Black folks waiting to hear and will listen. Do you know the stats tell us that when people listen to podcasts, most of the time they listen all the way through? My goodness. We have Dr. Renee Mentor. She's a brand new podcaster. Hey, Dr. Renee. But I'm just saying, we have to pay attention to the stats. Give the people what they want. We have voices. We have businesses. We have intentions. We have visions. And in this world, there's no reason why we can't share it. You don't have to do a podcast every day. You don't even have to do a podcast every week, but doggone it, you know what? If you are in business, attach that podcast, the thoughts, set yourself up to be the expert that you are, and make sure that you have that information in front of your people one way or another. Oh, I'm getting on a soapbox. Lord, let me grab my drink. Somebody else.
I'll tell you something that's really funny about this. Because this is my second podcast, and I, went to a online how to podcast school and learned about it. But, the first one I did was on my iPad, and it was like totally terrible. So it was just really crazy.
Totally.
Oh my God. So yeah, I've learned all this stuff. So now here I am with the podcast, and we do it every 2 weeks. We drop a podcast every 2 weeks, and we're in our second season. And now I'm talking to my firm about producing a podcast back at my office.
Yes.
Because they're saying like, hey, don't you do a podcast, right? So, like, yeah, I do a podcast. So now it's coming full circle around that corporate is now, I'm talking to the partners at my firm and saying, we really should be one of these firms that have the podcast, and I'm the girl for you. So it's really interesting that even your side thing that you're doing, maybe you don't have this idea that you're going to leave, but don't ever think that whatever you're doing on the side isn't some way that you could be entrepreneurial while you're still an employee.
Amen. Yeah.
And it's just want to throw that out there to you. It hasn't happened yet, but we're still working on it. And there's some partners that don't even understand what I'm talking about. But I keep just dropping little bombs to them.
And you show them how beneficial it is. It shows them how they'll become front runners as far as a company, a corporation.
The numbers for business podcasts are even crazier than they are for Black podcasts as to who's listening and how. There's something about a podcast where, it's not like TV where you're just saying whatever. You just hope anybody turns it on.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast listeners are very much, they're vetted already. They are totally into whatever you're talking about. So whatever advertising or sponsorship you have on there, they are more likely to listen, like you said, and buy.
Yes.
Than people that are listening to a TV show are gonna, do whatever that they're talking about there. So you don't need a whole lot of people. Like what you just need like your true 100, and you're
I
off
love
to the
that.
races.
I'm reading that again. Excuse me, your true 100. And if you can
100
handle your
fans.
true 100 and keep them occupied, keep them happy, feed them, you have the world.
That's all you got to do. You don't need everybody.
Wait a minute,
And
maybe you don't want everybody.
No, you don't want everybody.
But Subrina, if you don't do anything else, be sure your name is on there some kind of way. You're the executive producer. Follow Tyler Perry, follow Oprah Winfrey. Your name has to be on it, please. Because other folks will take your stuff. Okay, other folks will take your stuff, and you look up and be like, "Oh, wait." So no.
Or you've been doing something and talking about this for some time, and then you get a Johnny come lately coming on like, "I'm all that. This is brand new, and
this is all my idea."
Yeah, it's all.
Yeah. So, but see, if you put your name in it, yeah. Just
you know what? I've talked so much about my podcast at work. There isn't anybody that would dare say. They all know. Everybody in my office knows I have my branding all over my cubicle. It's just crazy. I'm like, I'm just here to do a couple of tech tips because I don't have time for you people. I got to go tape a show and I'm out of there.
Plus, you know what else solidifies everything? And a lot of people overlook it, but I know for a fact, if you have a deep footprint, digital and in print, and that conversation is consistent, hey, it's non-negotiable. You are the go-to person. Deb is the information diva. She is the person that you go to as far as getting a book together, as far as understanding this thing of how you have to position yourself as an expert so that people can see you. Deb has that down. Subrina, okay, now that I know that you're the tax lady, but I also know you to be the SYFY lady, where Black folks are located. Plus, I'm running out of time. I don't want to bring up your other thing. You're going to have to come back again because this lady is also into film festivals. See, we never know who's doing what. We can't keep playing each other cheap or lowballing people because we don't know what they know, what they're doing, where they're investing their time, and folks are doing it. I'm on a soapbox. I'm just going to say this and then we're going to wrap it up. It is 4:00 and I respect you all's time. All I'm going to say is do what you're supposed to do in this life. Don't fit into, it's not like double dutch. After a certain age, we have to be in there jumping. We have to be in there doing. We have to be in there investing. Google is not your best friend. There are women who can help you get to your next. Invest in yourself. If L'Oreal can say you're worth it, you tell yourself you are worth it. I'm climbing this mountain and I'm not climbing it by myself. I'm hiring the best person. I did my homework. I want you to take me to the promised land. And then that's what we have to do. We have to just drop the mic, Enough of this foolishness and all this, they cost too much and you want too much, or I'm going to negotiate my price and I'm going to lowball you. Bump that. No, let's not short sell each other as entrepreneurs and as women. Let's stop it. As Subrina says, stop
it.
Let's not do it. Okay. Here we are, 4:01. I'm zipping my mouth. Let's go, Deborah Thorne. What are your final thoughts for today? We didn't even get on National Croissant Day or what else we were supposed to talk about, but I thank you for being here. This was wonderful. I really, really appreciate
my final words are, if people do things like I do, they ask me, where do I get the information? Do you know I took notes during this? Because there's some things I got to go back and revisit. There's some people I got to introduce folks to. I am happy to be here, and I got to hit that button that tells you notifications because I don't want to miss any more brunches. This was awesome, awesome, awesome. Subrina, so glad to meet you. And this is not the last time, girl. We're going to talk.
Not at all.
Okay.
That's
we
what
got to
this
talk
is all
for
about.
real, for real.
Deborah, tell people how they can get in contact with you. I should have had a banner up about.
Oh, that's okay. That, you know what? Well, there are a couple of ways. It's text Diva. I always laugh because this thing is, the opposite. But text Diva to 21,000. And for those of you who are not really sure how to do that, take out your phone like you're going to send a text message. The phone number would be 21,000. That's 21000. The message is Diva. And when you hit that, it will send you a link to my digital business card. If you want to know more about the Leverage Conference, it's theleverageconference.info, INFO, like Information Diva, theleverageconference.info. Thank you, Margo.
Don't say you all weren't told. Subrina Wood, thank you for being here.
For asking me. I enjoyed this a lot.
Tell folks where they can find SYFY Sister Podcast. I already know on all of the major platforms, correct?
Yes, we are everywhere, but you can get us on www.syfysisters.com, or you can reach us at Trek Geeks, as we are members of the Trek Geek Podcast Network. You can get us at www. Yeah, no, you don't have to say that anymore. TrekGeeks.com/SYFY Sisters. And you can reach me, you can email me at Subrina at SYFY Sisters. That's SYFYSISTAS. Subrina at SYFYSisters.com.
I'm loving it. Wow. So this is what brunch is all about here. We run about an hour and technology hold all right. Then I was trying to sip and hold mine. I love this pretty glass.
Though.
Girl, wait a minute. When we were in Italy, I learned you don't hold your wine glass because you don't want to eat the wine. It's down here. Yes. That's what the stem is for. So yeah, but this is what brunch is all about. And thank you, ladies, for being here. You're gonna have to come back. We do it once a month. And if someone else says, wow, that was so cool. As you can see, nobody was getting pounded or anything. Respectful, good conversation. So if you want to be a guest, just go ahead and email me. Go ahead and email me at margolovett.com. Go ahead and say brunch in the at the top there so that I know what the email is all about. Or go ahead and message me over on Facebook on my profile or LinkedIn over on my profile. Hey, that's have
what I did.
Brunch. Yeah, and the rest is history. It really, really is. I love this. So until I don't know if I want a standard crew or we going to keep, I don't know, but I'm feeling some kind of way. Wow, this is all right. Well, you know what? Okay, I made up a special, let me see if I can come out of here. I made up a special, let me see the brand. Yeah, I made up a special outro for us.
All right now.
Yeah, I decided I'm going to have fun with this I'm learning because I believe that we can outsource, but we can't outsource before we know what the deal is, how to do it. So outro video 101. Okay, here we go.
All right.
Ladies, arrivederci. Thanks for everybody. Dr. Mentor, Tiffany. Oh my goodness. We'll be back. It's always going to be the last Sunday of every month.
All right.
The last Sunday of every month. I decided that's when we're going to do this. So let's all be sure to celebrate Black History Month. And if you're like me, it's never over. And anybody who wants to have brunch with me next month, that's what we're going to talk about. Why do we have to celebrate for a month? So if you ladies are inclined to come back, hey, got a seat at the table, okay? Bring your mug, bring your glass. But that's what I want to talk about because I want to make sure I wear my head wraps. I wear my African garb. Somebody said, well, are you all at church? Are you all having celebrating African History Month early? I said, no, I just love my outfits. I just love my clothing. I love my head wrap. I just love my jewelry. I love everything about it. So that's what we're going to talk about. Anybody interested? Hit a sister up. Okay. Okay, here comes our snazzy outro. Ladies, if you all have a chance to hang on, I'd like to get your feedback afterwards. Okay, we'll have a little dessert after the outro. Okay. And make sure I got the right thing. Yeah, because I get to talking, girl. It got kind of dangerous. Okay, 407. Here we go. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.